How does the shelf work in Minecraft? The shelf is a new block that can be used to store 3 stacks of items and has unique redstone interactivity. This is a new block in the Copper Age drop or the Fall drop. How to get the shelf. The crafting recipe for the shelf is 6 stripped wood blocks in the crafting table and it will craft 6 shelves. There are 12 different types of shelves depending on the wood you use. To break the shelf, you can use any tool or your hand. How to use the shelf in Minecraft. The shelf is a 1 wide block and has a short depth similar to a slab. So if you want to use vertical slabs, you could use the shelf. The shelf will have 3 inventory slots. You can see this as there will be 3 different divisions on the shelf. Also, the amount of items on the shelf is not visible. You can place a stack of items by right-clicking with the stack in your inventory on the shelf. This will place the entire stack on the shelf. If you want to remove the stack of items, you will have to have an empty slot in your hotbar and right-click on the item on the shelf. If you right-click with another stack in your hotbar with the item on the shelf, this will swap the items. The amount of items the shelf holds will depend on the amount that the item that stacks. For example, non-stackable items like tools or weapons can only do 1, stacks of 16 like ender pearls, and stacks of 64 that are most items in the game. The shelf can also be used to smelt 1.5 items in the furnace as fuel if you are bored of it. How to use the shelf with redstone. The shelf has a lot of interesting redstone capabilities. First is the shelves can be powered by redstone. What this does is it removes the separate slots on the shelf. When it is powered, this will allow you to place 3 inventory slots on your hotbar at once into the shelf or remove all 3 items from the shelf into your hotbar. The 3 items placed in the shelf will be the 3 rightmost slots in your hotbar. If you want to remove the items from the shelf, the 3 rightmost slots in your hotbar will have to be empty, otherwise it will swap the items. Also, if you place 3 shelves next to each other, this will connect them together. All 3 shelves will need to be powered by redstone. This will allow you to swap the entire hotbar at once. It doesn't matter which of the shelves you interact with. This could be useful if you have specific items in your hotbar and want to swap all of them out while doing a project. Hoppers and droppers can also place items and remove items from the shelf. A hopper underneath will remove items from the shelf. A hopper or dropper has to be facing into the shelf for the items to be placed in the shelf. The items will be placed in the shelf one by one from left to right. Make sure that when you're powering the shelf, this doesn't power the hopper as it will prevent the items from going into the shelf. Last is that the redstone comparator can output a redstone signal depending on the items in the shelf. If there is an item in the first slot, this will output a signal of 1, an item in the middle will output a signal of 2, and an item in the right slot will output a signal of 4. If all 3 slots are full, this will output a redstone signal of 7.